Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sliding Doors. In the previous video, I told you about 3 cases that impacted my career. In the first one, I reported a project idea that was recognized in numerous competitions as a top innovation in the cultural and creative industries. This included the Startup Europe Accelerator, which is part of the Startup Europe initiative of the European Commission. This initiative is aimed at selecting and promoting the best projects that support European priorities like the Green Deal or the New European Bauhaus. Eventually, this idea was denied funding due to what Europe defines as an abuse of power. That is the rejection of a proposal through lack or inadequate reasoning of the conclusions. I indeed reported the presence of a manifest error, and this was not assessed. The European Ombudsman has so far closed my case without providing a full investigation and did not respond to my claims with evidence. I will now ask them to release my files, so there will be some news in the future. I will tell you more about my next steps in the next video, so please remember to subscribe and stay updated. Then there was my postdoc proposal. My mentor capitalized on my work to get funding under his name and then used his acquired authority to sideline my research. Because of this, I couldn't develop my research as originally intended. Eventually, the funding agency confirmed my right to implement my ideas, effectively revoking his power to give me instructions. The final hit came when the funding agency proposed that I apply to a program for early career researchers as a solution to the problem I had experienced. This was rejected due to a selective reading of my proposal by one of the reviewers, and I could not resubmit because by then I had passed the 5-year post-PhD eligibility window. By the way, after watching my last episode, a researcher named Anna pointed me to this article in Nature discussing the concept of restorative justice as a way to heal science communities torn apart by harassment misconduct, that I now suggest to you. Thank you, Anna, for your contribution. You will find this article and the previous videos in the description. I don't know, maybe I was just terribly unlucky, which brings me to the topic of today, misfortune. You can't really fight misfortune. I know, it's difficult to accept. You may have the feelings that you just need to keep trying, that everything comes down to resilience, and you probably can't let fortune control your life. You may think, if I keep trying, I will eventually succeed. And maybe you will do it, but you might also lose part of your life in the process. The only thing that you can do is just stop engaging with misfortune. There are moments in life when things may seem to flow just more naturally, independently of your talent. Probably we should just need to learn how to better recognize where our favorable wind is blowing. In my case, I chose that human rights were more important than trying over and over to win a research grant. So I chose to open this channel. Who knows in which direction fortune will go? And hopefully that may help you accept that it is not always your fault for how things went. And this may help you start following what comes easier to you. I'm telling you this because I struggled with it a lot. I thought that success in research was just about resilience, about trying again and again. At least that's what they taught me, but it's not really the case. However, science should be about rewarding talent, not resilience. So how does luck affect science as a system? Well, from the perspective of promoting competence, luck is a potential issue. Imagine a pool of candidates, and our goal is to promote the ones who are the best. But what if misfortune was a factor? What if some of those brilliant researchers got sucked into an environment that profoundly harmed them, through psychological abuse, credit theft, and so on? If misfortune plays a factor, we could end up with a less competent community over time, which may potentially mean fewer breakthrough discoveries. For example, Radu Vrancianu, in his article The Worrisome Decline in Breakthrough Innovation, points out that research productivity has been declining by 5% per year since the 1970s. He writes, "In 2020, a study highlighted a significant inefficiency in the productivity of scientific research output. Using sector-specific and aggregate data from the United States, the authors revealed a decline in the productivity of United States researchers by 5% per year in aggregate data after 1970. This research sparked discussion and debates among growth experts, with a consensus on the main findings, as noted by Clancy. Supporting evidence from citation-based studies by Park et al. And Chu and Evans corroborate the decline in productivity and reveal a substantial decrease in the rate at which breakthrough innovations have emerged over the past 50 years or so." Of course, this is not a proven cause and effect, but it is also not impossible that there may be a connection. I am an example. If I hadn't rebelled against the behavior of my XPI, my research would have never seen its light despite receiving funding. It was later praised in the Journal of New Music Research for opening new paths in my field. This, of course, didn't just happen to me. It happens also to countless others, showing its potential collective negative impact over time. Secondly, when things depend on luck and competence is not necessarily a factor anymore, it increases the risk of promoting dishonesty. I think that many of my fellow postdoc colleagues eventually became accustomed to the false idea that a career in academia means resilience. I speak for myself here, but I feel like the growing narrative is that academia is just competition, so every means is somehow tolerated to get to the top. But what do we think? That people who endure abusive environments will magically become good seniors? A quick search on Google for "when did we start seeing an increase in academic misconduct and dishonesty" brings up this response: post-1960s expansion. The latter half of the 20th century saw a continued increase in academic dishonesty, with studies showing a trend of more students engaging in dishonest behavior and some forms of cheating becoming more prevalent. Is there a possible connection between that and the decline in breakthrough innovation after the 70s? I don't know, but it could be a great question for doctoral research. Let me know what you think in the comments. Interestingly, this study suggests that academic dishonesty may tend to reduce the motivation of people to conduct research, thus affecting overall productivity. I think from an individual perspective, accepting misfortune is a great way to get through life without stressing yourself out too much. But in the scientific field, it looks like we have normalized this idea way too much. If your research or article was dismissed due to a mere review, we have all heard the response, "Oh, that's just unfortunate." Let's clarify, that is not misfortune. Those are not mistakes nor viewpoints, which are legitimate. That's just unprofessionalism, and I believe we should start calling it as it is. Because in the end, the ones who suffer the consequences aren't just you or me. It's us. On this topic, have you already seen the new game Publish or Perish? It's a game about academic publishing where players race to publish manuscripts with useless nonsense while sabotaging each other's research and delivering very helpful comments in reviewers' choose styles. Therefore, letting misbehavior go unaddressed cannot just harm individuals who experience the negative effects of abuse, but it can have tremendous effects on the quality of science as a system. A similar concept was introduced by Paul Graham, the founder of Y Combinator, the accelerator behind companies like Airbnb, Dropbox, Reddit, and many other popular products. In this talk, Paul Graham tried to show how being benevolent is not just a good thing per se, but it actually pays off in the long run in terms of strategies and growth. I will link this video in the description.
So please, don't tune this out the way you'd automatically tune out someone standing up on a stage and telling you to be good. I'm not suggesting you be good in the usual sanctimonious goody-two-shoes way. I'm suggesting it because it works. It will work as a guide to corporate strategy. It will work as a design spec for software. So, don't just not be evil, be good.
So, thank you for watching. I hope this video was inspiring, and please remember to check the links below and share this video with your friends if you liked it. See you in the next one.